if you do take that path, you have an interesting amount of damage if Ember has mail and Monkey King has mail, so you have a lot of lightning inside your team fights. And great creep wave clear, so you can have your supports cutting the waves back in the enemy side of the map, which Monkey King is known to be very good for. Not only just the Primal Spring, but having Maelstrom too, you can just cut down waves safely and escape before the opponents have time to react. So you do get yourselves a bit of map efficiency.
But they'll go for the Ursa, so that worked for them against the Morphling already today. It's not the ideal hero against the Mars, but considering that you can get inside of the arena even when you don't have a BKB, is actually quite nice. You get into the arena with the Earthshock, you pop the Enrage, and you can somewhat save your team. If you're the one who tanks the spear other than one of your heroes, it would be amazing. The only problem I see is Silencer, Ursa, not the greatest of lanes because you have no slows, you have no heals, so you're just gonna have to focus on farming in this lane, which isn't ideal.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
Heading over to the last banning phase, Enigma removed by Army Geniuses and the Bat Rider from Purple Paradox. So we're taking away some teamfight ultis.
Dire's ban.
I mean, if you're Army Geniuses, you're really afraid of the Enigma. First of all, the laning stage, and then Enigma Silencer on the other side, plus Monkey King Enigma is a very formidable lane. So I like that they're banning these heroes. It does make a lot of sense.
Also, maybe a bit of adaptation from Army Geniuses draft-wise as well, because they are playing with stand-ins. I'm still waiting for confirmation. I see CML.
10 seconds to pick.
I'm not sure if we have 1 or 2 stand-ins, so I'm just checking in that quickly so I don't say something wrong here. CML is definitely 1. Final picks rolling in. 5 seconds left. Army Genius is going to go for the Enchantress.
Okay. Okay, I like that. I like that they went for a support here and didn't put Tiny on the position 5 or 4. I think Tiny on 2 is actually really good against Purple Paradox. Because you have a Silencer, you have a Monkey King. Even the Ember Spirit doesn't like playing against the Tiny if there's a Mirana in the pool, especially a 4 Mirana, very easily to rotate towards the mid lane and get the arrow in. So I like this when the Mirana has 2 ways of getting her arrow in, and also Tiny kills the Silencer, kills the Monkey King very easily in this game. So I think this is the right approach from Army Geniuses. Also, of course, having the enchant against the Monkey King 4 or against the Ursa later on down the line is a big thing. Ursa jumps in, is like roar, and then you just take away his overpower, and there's nothing he's gonna be able to do. And when you look at Purple Paradox, they don't have the magical damage necessary to deal with the Enchantress, so she's always gonna be in their face. And this time around, in terms of vision, Purple Paradox are gonna be on the shallow end there, because they don't have enough vision to deal with the Mirana and the Enchantress that's constantly in their face.
So a hero missing out for Purple Paradox and Seimei. Does he play the DP though, or is that a Valky hero? Oh, Valky still wants the Ember, so Seimei for the DP. All right, and we have ourselves a mid-tiny in terms of Yahweh, and In Your Dream. Apparently looks like he's changed his nickname. So if you're wondering about all these interesting letters on the Morphling's name, that is In Your Dream. So don't be worried about that. But we do have CML/Mavis as the stand-in. So that's one stand-in for the Army Geniuses lineup. Playing on the
I'm loving the Army Geniuses lineup. I think Purple Paradox, in terms of macro gameplay, the Death Prophet makes a lot of sense because you're gonna be taking the towers down. But when you look at the Army Geniuses lineup, so much burst potential, and literally the only save that you have for the Death Prophet is the Silencer. I'm thinking this is gonna be a tough one for Purple Paradox. You kill the Death Prophet, Purple Paradox, they don't take towers, and you farm and you farm and you farm. And later on down the line, if you have better vision and your heroes allow you to have better vision, you start off the fight by killing the Silencer, and then taking down the other ones is gonna be pretty easy. So for me, Army Geniuses are coming in with a better draft here in game 1.
But is their execution going to be on point? Army Geniuses has been a stable team in these Pro Series. They've been a upper bracket contender for the playoffs. And for Purple Paradox, basically playing their first season and already in second place in the groups, has a chance to go all the way to the top. They will have to adapt with this lineup. It is difficult to execute. You also have a lot of long cooldown abilities, but can you fight without the cooldowns, or at least not using them? Because if you hold on to your abilities, at least talking about the Monkey King ulti for some time, Global Silence is kind of must-have for your team fight. And Exorcism also feels like you need to pop it if you want to win the fight. Just have that extra bit of edge. AG can fight you when they're down.
The thing that Purple Paradox need to be doing in this game, other than, you know, just popping ultis and running in, is poke with the Ember. You need to get the heroes of the enemies low enough so that once you commit, at least one of them dies. And then you're gonna be wanting to pop your ultis just to secure the area or win the fight completely and overtake the part of the map or an objective. So not an easy thing to pull off, but Valky has been doing a decent job on the Ember, so you have a chance. I'm not saying that they got completely outdrafted. Their draft can work, but you need a lot of poke and prod for it to make sense. And when you're playing against the enemy team that has better vision, that has better jump, better ability to start the fight, it's not an easy thing to do. It again comes down to Fearless Law and his vision giving capabilities. But before that, of course, the laning phase needs to be solid for Purple Paradox.
Yeah. They're going to get a slow start as well in the base. As you can see, 4 players missing their inventories here and finally filling them in. So a slow exit from the base. Army Geniuses might get a warning advantage.
Most definitely, especially because they're smoked up, so...
And that as well. Teach me how to play Mirana. Moody, who just played a Mirana game. The victorious one, too.
That's the right approach. You need to be humble, and even if you're very good at a hero, there might be someone else there in the world who does some things that you don't, that can improve your gameplay. So Moody, I'm not sure if that was a joke or not, but I'm gonna go with he's humble and a really good guy that is gonna be improving his craft even in the future.
Harry always sees the positiveness in people, which is the good thing that we have our yin and yang here in the caster desk. Well, virtual desk, I guess, in this case. I'm not insinuating anything, so don't get ahead of yourself, Harry. I know you love to ask those questions. Oh, but you aren't. No, we're not going there. I'm just saying positivity goes a long way. And in general, PMA attitude. Our chat has been very PMA today as well, so thank you for that. Love seeing you guys watching these games as well. Welcome to the BTS channel. If you're new here, we have the BTS Pro Series for Southeast Asia rolling currently. We have Americas later on, but you know, Americas. Don't really talk about that here. Wrong region. And I think we've seen some really hype games in here for the last few days. We've had Ares and 343 casting. I believe we have Ares and Danog. Good old Danog. Miss my good old buddy. He's going to be also joining in on the casts, I think, from tomorrow onwards, as me and Harry Freak, we're going to take a couple days off. We've been casting the last 3 days. We had a marathon during the weekend, as we had a 4 series day as well. Those are always kind of rough, but thanks to your energy, it is doable. Purple Paradox, well, Fearless Look, he's going to give away a quick kill, Yahweh. Yahweh going to be taking this one for Army Geniuses. Happy to take a kill on your core.
Really bad start. This is a Tiny that can burst down 2 of your heroes easily once he gets the blink. Maybe even the Death Prophet. Plus, he gets the first blood. Naturally, does relatively well in the mid lane against the Ember, even though you get poked at with the Sleight of Fist. It's not an issue if you have a level 1 bottle, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. So this is as good as it can get for Army Geniuses. Let's look at the bounty runes. Are they equal as well? Yeah, it's a rough start for Purple Paradox. Hopefully they don't allow this to get to their heads.
We want to see the skill build here as well for Valky, starting off with the Flame Guard. Get that early point in it. He's gonna have a tiny bit of help from it in terms of CSing. It's always going to be difficult against a Tiny who just absolutely has more damage. And we kind of talked about this yesterday, about the attack animations and the benefits of a Tiny. The splash damage, the huge right click, the fast attack. But the second attack ain't gonna be as fast as the first one. Long cooldown.
The reason why this bottle level 1 is such a big problem is because when you play against the Tiny, this is what you want to do. You want to eat all of the hits from the tree grab, because you know that if he's just denying with the tree, you're gonna lose all of your CS. And Valky is doing exactly that. But with Yowie getting the early bottle, those trades are gonna be going his way as well. So that's really something that's gonna be hurting Valky.
Starting off with the Fool Assassin in the lane. Poke a bit onto the Ursa. Mavis actually has to deny it. It dropped fairly low. Very squishy units, despite the high damage output.
Yeah, very easy to kill.
Does he have any other good creeps around here? There's the Frost Ogre, some Hill Trolls deep. Yeah, the Wolves ain't really gonna help. Not that many great camps for the Enchantress to use.
Yeah, I mean, the big one is blocked. You have to walk a lot for the other ones. Considering that the wave is now below the tower, Mavis could go and pick up the Warpine Raider there, but it's kind of way too far away, and you come to the lane, you kind of have 15, maybe 20 seconds to use.
I can't actually get it. Can't actually get it at level 1 because it's a level 5 unit, so he'd need to wait for level 3 for it. So. Maybe he'll bring it as he hits level 3.
If he wants to get another point in enchant. It's also debatable. You're playing against Ursa, you want more harass on him, so more points in impetus makes a lot of sense.
Orb of Corrosion for Fearless. Lined up. Same nothing special coming up for him yet. Just the casual brown boots. We see Ember going for the Blightstone. So you have Blightstone and Orb of Corrosion, both stack nicely in your future engagements. Those are going to hurt heroes like the Mirana, the Enchantress, before level 6.
As far as I know, they don't stack any longer. The Orb of Corrosion plus the Blightstone. Yeah, they changed that some time ago.
All right, yeah, I remember that they stack. I think it was the more expensive items like Solar Crest and Medallion, but those stack right. Or did that also get fixed? Yeah, they do.
They do. The Deso plus the Orb of Corrosion stack as well, but the Orb of Corrosion plus the...
Can't use the cheaper ones for it. Meanwhile, Moody getting speared up under the tower. Gets hammered down. Ursa, he is kind of low on regen here. He's ordering a salve from the courier, but that's going to take some time until it actually arrives in the lane. Maybe the Silencer decides to bring it.
This Enchantress will be a problem. She will be a problem for the majority of the game, because you're constantly going to be in the face of the enemies and no one can really kill you. The only one that can is the Ursa, and Ursa doesn't want to be at the parts of the map where the Enchantress is going to be getting vision.
Now they finally got themselves a Harpy Stormcrafter. Ursa 10 stick charges. Ooh, that does so much damage on the Silencer. Not happy with it at all. It is finally cleared out though, but I think they still have another one in the jungle. The easy camp. Well, they only actually have the scouts. Remember when the scouts were the unit to go for? That was a silly patch.
Every support would get the Helmet of Dominator and go for the scout. Yeah,
that was so silly.
I'm actually surprised that no one uses it at least sometimes, you know, maybe with the Chen or something like that. It still is pretty okay. It's just not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, it's still vision. Like, I believe the priority changed in drafting, where you're like, well, we might lack on the department for vision if we're just able to get a Dominator hero for our support to pick it up. Ursa actually getting the kill on DB, and Moody killed off by Mavis. I'm surprised the Ursa actually got the kill on the Mars, because the Mars was already well behind, or close to the tower.
Valky was deep in the mid lane. Very deep it in, so this could be Valky going down if he's not careful. There it is.
Arrowed up. Slow punches, slow punches. Yowie takes a lot of damage here. Moody does get the bottle refilled. Gets the Arcane Curse as well, so Tiny gonna take a bit of extra poke here. I hear a Monkey King, Fearless. Tried to jump into the trees here, something like maybe somebody's hiding there, because they were right next to the trees there. It could have been a kill with the Primal Spring, so that's a good cheeky little attempt. But again, the same combo comes out, tossed into Arrow. This time it works out. Valky down.
Because Mavis came over.
Yoey is low on HP. Mavis is still here.
That's
And
very far.
oh, they cut down the tree from the Monkey King. And he's left all by himself. He's going to start taking some free damage. Slowed down by the enchant. Has the TP away, but no, sir. That's going to be 3. Going for Army Geniuses. Geniuses indeed.
Beautiful, beautiful how they approached that fight. I like that Purple Paradox brought both of their supports. They saw that the Tiny was low. Mirana gave Tiny a salve, and I was like, why are you giving him a salve? It's like 5% of his HP. Who the hell cares? But that 5% made a difference there for Yoey not dying and then just getting those 2 extra kills. We already talked about how important it is for the Tiny in particular to have a good game. And now you get the power treads. Pre-7 minutes, this is gonna be very, very good timing on the Tiny's items. And the supports of Purple Paradox, I wouldn't want to beat them right now.
6-1 behind. Army Geniuses definitely came prepared for this one. Probably were watching as Purple Paradox were taking down Fnatic.
I'll put that money
Feels like
to
everything
good
has
use.
changed a little bit in this game. Army Genius is happy with how things are. But like you said, wouldn't be in Purple Paradox's pants right now. 6-1 to start things off with is not the best way, but still not a massive net worth lead either. Everyone has a lot of CS, and actually if we look at net worth, they're not that far behind.
It's not
prone
a
to change.
massive difference, but you know, every single position is in favor of Army Geniuses. So they are happy with that. Okay, now it's changed a bit here and there, but yeah, as you mentioned, everyone is close to each other. Still, the early mid game is the one where Army Geniuses are doing so much. They don't need level 6s on their support, so it's not like their aggression is ever gonna stop in this game. They're like, oh, they're weak now.
Uh-oh. It's an easy kill. And scouted out by the ward placed on the high ground. They see the Monkey King jump into the tree. Looking for that 8-minute rune. At least Valky gets illusion for himself, but that's a simple avalanche into cutting down the tree into Arrow.
And it's not a war that
Top
you're
lane, they're gonna
needed
dive
to-
Moody. That's the arena used.
That's not looking good for Purple Paradox. They're getting destroyed in every single lane.
They're trying to make up for it in the bottom lane, though. Morphling getting chased up. Siphon comes out. Stun is there as well. Does manage to morph into a DP. He's got his own Siphon and turning it around and taking down Seimei. Nothing is working for Paradox here. Felt like a bit of a forced attempt as well, because they do cross the line of diving under the tower. Instant recovery coming in with the reinforcements, TPing into bottom. And Morphling, really good hero to turn into DP as well. They're trying to make another attempt for it. They just left all the supports are gone, and now suddenly In Your Dream left all by himself, silenced up as well. No strength more for him today. And he will die. Top lane though, they're chasing the Ursa. He does have Enrage. As well. He turns around, roars in the face of the Mars. The Mars has a spear available with the impetus. He should be dead with the bonk coming in. He just wants the right clicks. Okay, he does get close enough to throw in another attack. And spear will finish him off. Moody also goes down. Fearless, he's gonna get caught too. Yoey picks up a double. And now you can start to feel, okay, maybe if net worth looked tied, maybe farm looked tied, it's still a great start for the Tiny, and he's gonna get even bigger from this. Valky?
Sure.
Okay, he's got the remnant.
I have to say though, Purple Paradox, the rest of them, whenever something is happening on the map, they're getting the best out of it. So Valky at least pressured the mid lane tower somewhat. I think Army Geniuses though are going to be focusing more on keeping that one alive now, because you don't want it to fall before your Tiny gets the blink. You want to have as many access points to go for pickups as you can, and you know, bottom lane you can let it go at this point. You got a lot of it out of defending it. Varish will take down the siege creep, so Purple Paradox are still gonna have to commit somewhat for that tower, and Army Geniuses don't really need to defend it. It will just be a riskier move.
And now 10 minutes in, there's a 2k lead and an end of his Yoey coming into the top lane, but spotted with the sentry ward. Ursa should have information about this. They're trying to pressure bottom, but they're also in trouble in the top lane. So now they got to make a decision on Purple Paradox. Do we save the Ursa, or do we continue in bottom? He's gonna be chased here. They have the arena, they have the Mars. They could just pummel this Ursa down. Man, Augie is not enjoying his life, and Moody dies as well to the Morphling in the mid lane. That's a solo kill for the Morph to pick up, and they're finally getting to push this bottom tier 1 tower. 14-2. This is not pretty.
Very good decisions from Army Geniuses. They're not playing particularly fast. They're just playing off of good ideas of where they need to be. You put in your Dream in the mid lane. You want to protect that mid lane tower, plus apply some pressure on Purple Paradox. And you're moving towards the top lane to trade the tower. You know, bottom, you've already defended once. That's good enough. And then you go for the next objective. And now, with all of these movements, all of these skills and everything, Yowie will have the Blink Dagger in no time. And then the real game begins for Army Geniuses.
Trying to stack up in mid with a couple heroes. But Army Genius is also coming in force. Here comes the backdoor army. That's a ton of skeletons. They're being healed up by the Seeds of Serenity as well. Or are they really? No, it's just on the Dark Troll. So all the skeletons are just dying without the healing buff. Not that they were going to live for long anyway. This Dark Troll is doing a lot of damage to that tower. That's 40 damage per hit. And even more skeletons. Meanwhile, Purple Paradox looking for kills. Stun on Mavis. Valky with the haste rune. Gets the chains out. Enchantress dies. Centaurs almost got the attack on him. But they change aggro onto the Monkey King after all.
That's really big and important. Enchantress every single time in an aggressive position has to die. Ursa, on the other hand, cannot die like that.
Pain.
You have to know where your line is.
Absolute pain. Ursa has now died 3 times. And those 2 deaths inside the last 2 minutes.
His death will come at a cost for Army Geniuses. They have lost the mid lane tower, so now they're really gonna have to make the Blink Dagger reveal of the Tiny worth it and get the mid lane tower out of it. Because if they don't, from the reveal, it might just mean that Purple Paradox can hold on to his tower for a little bit longer, which is very important for an Ursa lineup contesting the Roche.
Also want to point out DB's spell build here. He's going item build. He's going for Yules.
Not something that we see too often, but against the double silences, it does make a lot of sense. You don't want to just go in and die. You want to be able to maybe use the ults aggressively or force out the global silence that way, or keep yourself alive for a bit longer.
Same finds the Morphling, but MLS used and goes a bit too close with the smoke, so we'll find him. Meanwhile, they find themselves an Ember. Where did the Ember... What? How did he die there? Well, that's a bit late to ask now. DB is going to fight Fearless inside the arena. They've already lost Moody as well, so that's a Wukong's comment for nothing, and nothing just seems to work for Purple Paradox here.
It's not working, and here, to answer your question about the Ember, he got caught in the river. Avatos combo, arrow was a little bit off the mark, and then he ran, and got sniped by the spear in the end. Okay, this is a disaster. Fearless is dead as well.
Yeah, Fearless down, tower dying, deck DP falling. This is... I don't even know what's going on here. What happened to the Purple Paradox that played against Fnatic?
They don't have the same heroes. I told you, we have to see if they're as good when playing something else. They know how to move with a particular lineup. Now it's a little bit different. They're not the ones that have better vision. And the last pick DP just didn't strike me as good. And considering they weren't able to pressure the lane enough, and DP pressuring the Morphling doesn't really seem like a great possibility. This is the outcome that you would expect.
I mean, yeah, I can understand the assessments of different heroes, but they're playing the same heroes from the games, last 2 games that they just played. They didn't really do that big adjustments. But I agree that the Death Prophet really feels a bit out of place. And it's costing them a lot right now. DB might be losing his life to Valky. Aggie is also there. But no, this is just it's just dreadful. They just turn it around. They chase for so long, up to the point that they get turned around. Moody wasn't able to get the global silence out in time either, so they're losing their cores. And this is just this is a massacre. This is an absolute massacre. Army Genius is playing the easiest game of Dota that they've had in their entire lives right now.
Did you see that boundless strike of the Monkey King? Fearless Love just used it on the ground, literally, like 500 units away from the Mars. He was hoping the Mars was gonna escape, but Mars was actually trying to find the silencer. And in terms of heroes, yeah, the heroes are similar, but the way that the game is being played is different because their supports are different and their offlaner is different. You know, you don't have the Mirana, you don't have the added vision. You just have the silencer. This is big team fight. Immediately you switch it up. You're not on your enemy side, but you're actually wanting to fight an engagement and then pop the global silence. It's a completely different gameplay, even though the drafts do seem similar, and Purple Paradox just aren't finding good ways to utilize it. And look at Mavis. Look at his position, and they can't even punish it. They don't have a single hero to kill the Enchantress with the enchant. With the untouchable, sorry.
Yeah, that's how grim the situation is. Can't even jump on the Enchantress. Meanwhile, DD Tiny, Yoey goes in onto the Ember Spirit. Almost hammers him down with just a raw right clicks. While Valky, oh, he's actually getting some nifty moves done here. Maybe they baited the Tiny deep in, so they're gonna get themselves a good kill here. A lot of money. They will trade the support silencer for it. Maybe now they can kill this Enchantress. Slow applied by Fearless into the chains, and a kill going their way. Same way with the Exorcism, gets the last hit on it. But you're going to need a lot more of those to get back in because you're very, very far behind.
It looked funny with the Monkey diving face first into the arrow. The arrow connected onto him while he was jumping between trees. So a nice muscle memory there on the Monkey King, the hero itself, to be able to stay on the trees when he's stunned. But
it's kind of like you're jumping around in the jungle as Tarzan, and then you take a rock into the face and you're still flying.
Yeah.
Arena used for the Monkey King, but not even for a kill. DB kind of messed up there. It's going to be a deny. The Hellbears, basically, they don't even need to roar this time. They just smack for the kill. Arrow flying in a very interesting route. DB finally falls. Moody will pick him up. Ember down. Trading 1 for 1. Well, 1 for 1 was a deny, but the silencer, I mean, they are slowed down by the Arcane Curse.
Yo, he's not stopping.
Blink is ready. Oh, he goes the wrong way.
Oh. He thought Moody was trying to be smart, and nope, Moody was just like base, and he does survive because of it. So Yoey, he expected his enemy to be joking around. Wasn't the case. Yeah, the reason why the Mars didn't kill the Monkey King is because he was missing a spear for another 2 seconds, so the arena wasn't doing enough. In the end, they find him.
Yeah. Walked back into his death.
It's not my responsibility.
He knew there was a
to
ward
protect
there.
people from
Still, that ward
themselves.
being taken down is a big deal. You don't want to allow any damage on the bottom part of the map for Army Geniuses, especially not that deep.
Same A is about to get surprised here, even though they are looking for the Enchantress kill, which they will get. But there was a Tiny. There's a Mirana landing up the arrow and will connect. Takes the DP away. Slow from Fearless. No TP cancelled though. Top lane, however, Ursa. We've seen this story before. Ursa now 3 levels behind the Morphling.
Yeah, and the Morphling is approaching the Scotty as well. That's gonna be another issue for the Death Prophet himself. And then this is an issue for the Death Prophet as well, when you just die without any chances of turnaround.
It's always an issue if you just die.
Yeah.
Oh man, 28-7. Damn. There's an average of almost 2 kills per minute, and it's almost by 1 team. That's how brutal this is. You're losing 2 heroes per minute on one side. And that's another one. That is another one.
Yoey was like, he kills the Monkey King, destroys his home, the tree of course, and then he's like, nah, I'm not gonna punch you, I'm gonna kill you with your possible future home as well. Picks up the tree up and just smacks him down. And while this was happening, you just walk into the Roche because you know there's absolutely no chance for Purple Paradox to fight you there. And this is just enough time for the Morphling to finish the Scotty without his life ever being threatened.
Well, this is an absolute battering for Purple Paradox after a, could almost say, a historical victory. Now turning into a complete debacle in this first game against Army Geniuses. It ain't over yet, but your chances to win are getting slimmer and slimmer. I'm surprised they're still given a 7% chance to win, because it felt like this game already 10 minutes ago was turning into a, well, I'll just say it. This is a bit of a clown fiesta.
It's not my
The Dota Plus is probably putting into account that it is an Ursa versus the Morphling, which naturally the Ursas can get out of as the victors, but an Ursa with a Diffusal Blade, 20 minutes into the game, not really having a Battle Fury, no way to come back into it. It's looking grim.
All right, turnaround coming out. This is their chance to redeem themselves if they can win this fight, but this is a very tanky Tiny. Pops his DD rune. Seimei gonna get caught inside the arena, speared to the wall. There's a jump coming in from the Ember Spirit, trying to finish off DB. Tiny living. Yule's being used by the Mars, buying some time. He almost gets his blink off, but he's gonna get silenced up. But however, they've lost 2. They're gonna lose more as they're overpowered and outnumbered. Army Geniuses survive with all heroes intact and take almost everyone from the side of Purple Paradox because Monkey King wasn't even there. So all 4 heroes inside the engagement down. Despite doing 5.4k damage that fight, still can't make a dent.
Yeah, the HP pools on the side of Army Geniuses are quite high, especially if you start off on the Tiny, who has almost half in HP and all the damage that you dealt, and he had a BKB. This is the big thing. Now let's look at the Purple Paradox lineup. What do they have left to pray for in this game? Let's say not much. You cannot split push that effectively. You have some vision, but you cannot really get good pickoffs until your Ursa gets some nice items. And speaking of,
they're just doing nothing right. They're just doing absolutely nothing right now on the side of Purple Paradox. It seems like a lot of fatigue has struck them. The only thing I can come up with right now is they spent all of their energy fighting against Fnatic in that last series, because this is like a desperation mode right now. 22 minutes in is not the best of the times for it either, and they're going to get stunned, and they're going to lose more heroes for it. Fight for the DP to get a couple siphons off. Chains by In Your Dream as he turns into an Ember Spirit, clearing them out. GG, they've had it. It's the only call you can do at this point. Army Geniuses walk away without even lifting a finger this game.
Yeah, you could see that Purple Paradox with that buyback, that they were like, okay, we don't really have a chance in this game, but let's try to force our enemies into an error. The thing is that for Army Geniuses to make an error, they would really have to play it pretty dumb at this point, because it was almost impossible. You just see a hero and the hero is immediately dead. I thought it was gonna be the Silencer and the Monkey King that die easily, but it came down to every single hero being an easy target to the Avatos combo plus the arrow. So a lot of factors in here. Army Geniuses, solid draft, solid execution. Also, Tiny getting way too many kills at the start, and of course a few good movements from Army Geniuses. They caught Purple Paradox by surprise, and then they actually didn't know where to go with their heroes, and just ended up making even more mistakes. So they did look bad, Purple Paradox, but I wouldn't take it against them. This game was the odds are really stacked against them.
Yeah, not just that, but I think also the inexperience of a new team showing here that they just took down a Goliath and just don't know how to bounce back from that. Probably still in celebration mode in the draft. Focus is completely gone and thinking about different things than what they're supposed to. It's kind of like what I can see happen to Purple Paradox. Nothing went right, but this is a good moment to just call it early, head over to the next game. Now you have to do a mental reset, a full reset. You're not taking first place in groups. You're not going to be playing well in the playoffs if you play like this. So I think this is a cold lesson learned for Purple Paradox. We're going to take a tiny break, though, as we are going to be heading over to the second game in a short break to see if Army Geniuses keeps up. They're ready to play, but is Purple Paradox ready to fight back? See you in a bit.